Today I'm going to be reviewing Alpha Progression. It's a training app that focuses a lot more on classic training progression and programming splits than a lot of the other apps I've played with so far. So think squats, bench, deadlifts, and overhead press. That sort of stuff. It's also Germany's top-rated fitness app, and the dude who started it is all kinds of jacked. So yeah, nice. In general, I really like the app, though I am partial to classic strength training. I found this app when one of the founders messaged me on Instagram about giving it a try. And because I have an extreme problem with saying no, I dropped my current training program that day and started it. They did offer to activate my account so I could try it without paying, but I'm me, so I paid for it. It's $10 a month or quite a bit less if you do the annual membership, something like half. But I know I won't be using it all year, so I got the monthly. Much like most of the other apps I've played with, it has you set up a gym profile. So you're going to pick out the equipment you have available to you, you're going to set your age, your weight, and experience, the normal stuff. I like that it calls me elite. I'm not, but I have been working out for a very long time, so the app thinks I am. You can set up your own plan, but that's not why we pay for these. The plan generator gets the basic info, how many days a week, length of workout, and what, in my opinion, is the best feature of an app I've ever seen, the ability to neglect those nasty muscle groups we don't want to train anyway. You can also pick the length of your training cycle. I prefer 6-week cycles, but it defaults to 4. After the plan is generated, it will show you the exercises it's picked for you, and then you can change it if you want to. Let's say a sense of nagging guilt has gotten to you about all of those muscle groups you decided to ignore, and you finally convince yourself that back squats need to be part of your routine. The demonstrations of the exercises are great. I really like them compared to some of the other apps I've used. This is because the written portion is detailed but not overdone, and the camera isn't moving all over the place. It's set in a position that lets you clearly see the movement, and if it needs a couple of angles, it's going to give them to you. They have links in the movement guides to their help section and their Facebook group if some more explanation of a movement is required. But I really think their movement guide is more than enough for most people. They also have deloads right in the program, so they cover all the training basics. Another thing I'm a big fan of in this app is the fact that it lets you export all your data and keep it if you decide to stop using the app. I don't really have negatives about the app, but some things that could be improved. For example, if for some reason you have an issue or a major fall off in reps for a given set, the algorithm seems to get confused. So one week I was just not feeling the last set of shoulder raises, and instead of 15 reps I did 10. The next week, the first couple of sets suggested I go to 16, and the last suggested 11. So the algorithm seems to be looking at the sets more than it does the exercise as a whole. It does the same thing if you bump the weight on the last set. It treats each set individually rather than looking at the performance of the exercise as a whole. Which is okay for someone with experience who knows how to tweak it or fix it, down the road, but could quickly become confusing for a new lifter. The only other little nitpicky thing I have is when you do a drop set, I really wish they had a place for you to record the actual weights and reps you do in those drop sets. They also don't really make it clear when they have a drop set listed whether they expect you to do that for every single set or whether you're just supposed to do it after the last set. I think that's probably in the help section. I tend to do them for each set, but I'm pretty sure they want you doing it after the last set. Not a huge deal, but just something I wish was in there. So I tend to view all these apps in relationship to each other. How does Fitbod compare to BodBot, compare to Strong, and on and on and on. And the truth is they all do pretty much the same thing. But what I like about this one in particular is that it's not trying to reinvent training from the ground up. So Fitbod can do this type of training, the same stuff Alpha Progression does, but I use it because you put in all of your gym equipment and it will throw completely random stuff at you if you want it to. It gives you all kinds of different things every week, and that can keep training fresh and interesting. However, it's not the best for strength building. Alpha Progression has classic, time-tested, science-backed, progressive overload gym rat bodybuilding programming. It may not be the flashiest or craziest, but it is the way you build strength and power in the long term. And it's what I always end up back at anyway. So would I recommend you pay for this? Yes, absolutely. If you've used a fitness tracking app before, it's probably pretty similar. But the solid information and video demos, the proven and tested progressive overload structure, make alpha progression a great tool to have in your pocket. Me personally, I'll probably be on it for 3 months or so before I need a break and I go back to something a little bit more all over the place as far as training goes. I'll put some links to the various app stores below. They do have a 2-week free trial before you actually have to pay for it, so give it a try, test it out, see if you like it. Me personally, I think it's worth the $10.